Thank you for joining RasPipKr tutorials. I'm Martin Parker, and in this video I'm going to be continuing with putting my buttons into play. So I've taken out my cursor of the script just so it's back to how it should be, so that when I put it back onto the Pi with the touchscreen, I don't get the cursor on screen. Okay, so we're going to be bringing in these buttons in the middle area, these 4 round buttons. Okay, so going down into the security menu, below there we've got our Z1 change, and this is going to be because we've got external voice button, we've got our doors voice button, we've got our modes button, and we've got our decking or deck button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow suit, and I'm going to call these define. I'm going to call this ext change. Yep. No, I'm not, because it sounds like exchange. External. No, I'll just call it e voice change, and then it kind of matches. So what we need to do here is we need to have our globals. So just basically it's going to be pretty much exactly the same as that above. So I'm going to have my global variables. So I need to have my my default. So if I just have a quick look at the top, it's not in this file, it's in the settings file. So in here I've got my external voice default, so these are what I'm going to be going by. So I'll just get back to where I were. So ext voice default with a T, and then I want to have my what was it? E-voice button. Okay. And the E-voice image. Right, so E-voice IMG. So I want them, and I want the E-voice BTN. Okay, so there's our 3 buttons. So now I need to increment the default value just like we do here. So on this next line I'm gonna did I put xt? Yeah. And I put e voice. No mind. Doesn't matter. So ext voice default plus equals 1. So when this function gets run, it will increment that external voice default, which is what we have set as default, because this is what we're going to use, so we know which one's which. So in theory it's this one, because when we use the index, that'll be index 0, this will be index 1, and that's why the button is on in default mode, being there. So we've done that, and then just like before here, if the default is equal to the len, which is the length of how many in that list. So in here, in this external voice buttons list, we have 1, 2. That's the index of 0. That's the index of 1. But this is 2 in that list. So if it equals the same amount, basically. So if external voice default equals the len of the actual list, so it's ext voice btn buttons list, I believe. Just double check so I don't get any faults later. External voice buttons list. Cool. So if it equals that, because of it being that being 0, that being 1, if it's already on 1 and you increment that 1, the default value, to 2, because there is 2 in there, it's going to refer it back to 0. So in this line here, I'm going to tell it to change the external voice default external voice default equals 0. So it tells it to go back to the first index, which is what's going to happen in a moment. So e voice img equals tk dot photo image, and then in here we want the file to be we want it to be the buttons list and then the index of what it's set to. So we want ext voice buttons list, and then we want to select whatever it's set for the external voice default. Okay, and then we need to set the e voice btn. Okay, so that will be dot config, and then we need to change the image to match the line above e voice img. So that's all that button needs, but in the main function I need to, when you click the button, make it run this command, and I also need to put that as a global variable in the main script as well. So we've got our 4 zones, we've got our other buttons, yeah, I'll put it here. So I've got e voice btn, comma, and then move that over. Okay, so down here we've got our button, so we need to set that. So I'm just going to drop that line down and then get to the end, and then the command that we're going to be running is forgot it, e voice change, e voice change. There we go. Right, so that's that button done. So what I'm going to do is, as I've explained that one, I'm going to just simply copy this, and I'll just make slight changes accordingly for the other buttons. So this will be D for the doors voice, so this will be doors, this will be a D, this will be a D, and that will be, whoops, doors. Do you know what? Copy that, paste that, paste that, that, and also be a D, 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 and we need to do that global variable on the main script as well. Everything looks good there. Let's get back up. So we've got that one, so we want D voice btn. Yeah, what I might do is put these onto a separate line and then the in an order, if you like, because I've got another 2 to put on here. Yeah, let's do that. So let's get rid of all these, paste that out, cut that out, sorry, and we'll put them underneath the buttons. Paste it there. Whilst we're here, we might as well put the button values in for the modes. So modes btn, and this one the deck btn. Cool. Right, so we've done our e-voice button, so I'm just going to drop that down, get to where we want to be, and set the command, which will be d-voice changer, change, sorry, and do the same thing for this one, which will be modes change. I need to put command. And this one will be deck change. And I've done it again. No! Command equals. Right, so they're all prepared. I just need to change these down here. So e-voice, that, and that. So let's just be sneaky and copy and paste it in. So we've got that one. This wants to be modes. This one wants to be deck change. So now we need to change our globals first. So we've got our modes image, and we've got our modes button, modes default. So this will be deck button. This is deck image. Deck default. So let's just copy that, put that there, put that there, put that there, put that there. Copy that, put that there, copy that, put that there, oops. Deck image, deck image. So I just need the deck buttons list. I believe that's what it is, and decking buttons list. And just copy that and stick that there. So all that's done. So we've got the, what's the other one? Just modes button list and modes default. Modes button. Copy that, put that there, copy that, put that there, put that there, and put that there, put that there. We've got button, wants to be there, and we want that one to be there, and we want that one there. There we go. Right, we've done our global variables on the other one, so everything should be good to go. Let's run it, and then them buttons should now change. So barbecue, and then go off. Barbecue and go off. Decking lights. Oh, we've spelt something wrong. Decking default. That's what it is, isn't it? Yep. Decking. All these are wrong. Missing my ing. Never want to miss your ing. You thought I was crazy double checking every time, and then I go and forget it. Well, I didn't put it, I didn't check. That's it, should be good to go. So I'll do the decking lights as we had problem. I don't know where my cursor is because I've turned it off. Doors voice. Oh, we've got a problem here and all. Should have checked this one as well. This is doors default. Silly me. Oops. What's going on? That did that because I've got the cursor getting repositioned. So I'm just gonna copy that, paste, copy that, paste, copy that, paste. That should all of them be good. Super duper. Fingers crossed. Doors. Oh man. The length of the doors. Oh, it's just doors buttons list, innit? Yeah. What a wally. Get rid of the voice. It'd be rather quiet if I didn't have a voice. How bored you'd be. Yeah, I am that funny. There's my mouse. Right, fingers crossed. Doors, buttons. There we go. We've got the length. So modes is 0, so it should go from grey to be. Do you know what? Let's put my cursor back in. Out. Even. And then I can see where my cursor is better. Try again. So external voice is good. It's barbecue time. No it in. Yes it is. No it in. Decking lights. I think I know what I've done here. I haven't yeah, I've got my I've done the, that's why I had the problem. I didn't have a problem with that one because it was already set to 1, and I haven't got it set, excuse me, to the I've got the files actually set for these, so that's my fault. So I want to have voice buttons, so that wants to be all of that. Copy. Let's put that into there, and then in here the doors. Can't believe I forgot to do that. Never mind. Paste that. 2 more to do. Modes. barbecue, but yeah. And last one, the decking default. Yeah. There you are. Right, no problems now. So we've got them both on. Is that correct to the settings? So we have got external voice, and we have door buttons on, modes or barbecue and decking are off. Wrong window. Cool, so just one click and it's gone straight off, whereas before, because I didn't have the actual, I had the file set in this bit here, it caused it to actually do the default after you'd clicked it the first time, so that was my mistake. And everything is working rather good now. So that's it for this video, and in the next coming videos we're going to actually be getting these to sort some GPIOs out. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and share if you'd like to, and I'll catch you in the next one.